Hello everyone! Our lesson for today is about ratio. Let's start by defining what ratio is. Ratio is a comparison between two or more quantities. In naming a ratio, order is very important because each number in a ratio corresponds to a certain quantity being identified. Now there are four ways in writing a ratio. First is the phrase form. For example, 9:16. Next is the colon form. We write it as 9:16. Third is the division form. So we have 9 divided by 16. And lastly is the fraction form, which is 9/16. To understand better what ratio is, let's have an example. Say we have this situation. In one of the classes in grade 6, there are 18 boys and 22 girls. From this statement alone, we can make different ratios. For example, if you want to compare the number of boys to the number of girls, we can have a ratio of boys to girls. Since boys is mentioned first before the girls, we will have our ratio as 18:22. Because 18 corresponds to the number of boys and 22 corresponds to the number of girls. But let us always remember that ratio should be expressed in simplest form. So instead of writing 18:22, we will have our final answer as 9:11 because this is the simplest form of 18:22. Now, if you want to write the ratio of girls to boys, we will have to interchange the numbers of boys and girls. Since girls are mentioned first, then we should have the number of girls written first in our ratio before the number of boys. So instead of 18:22, we will have 22:18. But again, remember that our answer should always be in simplest form. So for our final answer, the ratio should be 11:9. We can also compare the number of boys to the total number of students in that class, or the number of girls to the total number of students in that specific class. For example, the ratio of girls to the total is 22:40. Since there are 18 boys and there are 22 girls, we know that in that specific class, there are 40 students. So the ratio of girls to the total is 22:40. But then again, we have to simplify our answer, so we should write our ratio as 11:20. If we will have ratio of boys to the total, that will be 18:40, or in simplest form, that is 9:20. Now let's do the following examples. Marvin has a collection of marbles. His jar has a total of 500 marbles. Among his marbles, 50 are red, 100 are blue, 200 are green, and 150 are black. Now if you will be asked to write the ratio of the red marbles to the blue marbles in fraction form, we will have, let's check, red marbles was mentioned first before the blue marbles. So let's find the number of red marbles and the number of blue marbles. So we have here 50 are red and 100 are blue. So in fraction form, we will have 50/100. But remember that we should always simplify our answer. So instead of 50/100, we will have 1/2 or 1/2. Next, given the same scenario, let's find the ratio of the green marbles to the black marbles and write our answer in fraction form. So this time, green marbles is mentioned first before the black marbles. So let's look at the number of green marbles. That is 200, and the number of black marbles is 150. So writing it in fraction form, we'll have 200/150. You learned before that if our fraction is an improper fraction, you will have to change it into mixed fraction. But this time, we will not do it because we are writing a ratio. Also, if we will write it into a colon form, that will be 200:150. So we cannot change it into a mixed number. So instead, let's just look for a number that will divide both 200 and 150, and that is 50. So we will have 200 divided by 50, that is 4, and 150 divided by 50, that is 3. For our final answer, the ratio of green marbles to black marbles is 4/3. Next example. Again, we are given the same situation, but this time we are asked to find the ratio of the black marbles to the blue marbles. And this time we will write our answer in column form. So black marbles is mentioned first before the blue marbles. So let's look at the number of black marbles, that is 150, and the number of blue marbles is 100. So in column form, we will write our answer as 150 colon 100. But again, we have to simplify it. Both numbers are divisible by 50. So dividing it by 50 or dividing them by 50, we'll have 3 colon 2. So this will be our final answer. Next one. Again, given the same scenario, this time we are fine to ask the ratio of the red marbles to the total number of marbles. And this time we'll write our answer in column form. So it's given that the number of red marbles is 50 and the total number of marbles in the jar is 500. So if we will write it in column form, that will be 50 colon 500. But again, we have to simplify. 50 and 500 are both divisible by 50. So we will have 1 is to 10. Okay, so this will be our answer. So that means for every red marble, there are 10 marbles in the jar. Now this time, let's express the following ratio in simplest form. First example, consonants to vowels. So let's write the ratio of the number of consonants to the number of vowels in the alphabet. We know that in the alphabet, we have 21 consonants and there are 5 vowels. Okay, so for uniformity, when we're asked to write the ratio, let us use the column form. Again, for uniformity, we'll only use the column form. So we'll have, since consonants are mentioned first or is mentioned first, we'll have 21 colon 5, or 21 is to 5. It is already simplified, so this will be our final answer. Next one, let's write the ratio of vowels to the total number of letters in the alphabet. Okay, so again, we know that there are 5 vowels in an alphabet, and in an alphabet, there are 26 letters. So we'll have our answer as 5 is to 26. And again, this is already simplified, so this will be our final answer. Vowels first before the total number of letters in an alphabet. Next example, we have 12 months to 1 decade. Most of you will probably write 12 is to 1. But let us take note that the given ratio is 12 months and 1 decade. In cases like this, we have to make sure that the units in our ratio are the same. Since 12 months cannot make a decade, we cannot convert months into decade. So that means we will have to convert decade into months so that we can write them in ratio. We know that in 1 decade, there are 10 years. But still, we have different units because the other one is months and the other one is years. But this time, we have 2 choices. We can either convert 10 years into months or convert 12 months into years, since 12 months can make 1 year. So I suggest we convert 12 months into a year because it's much easier to do so. And it's already simplified. Okay, so we'll have 12 months into 1 year. Okay, so our answer will be 1 is to 10. Okay, and this will be our final answer. Now, let's see if we will get the same answer if I will convert 10 years into months. Okay, in 10 years, we have 120 months. So we'll have 12 is to 120, and if we will simplify it, we will just get the same answer as 1 is to 10. Okay, so either of the 2 solutions will give us the same answer. And for the last example, we have 7 days to 24 hours. This time, we are given days to hours. So again, just like what we had earlier, we have to change one of these units to make them the same. Okay. Since 24 hours make a day, let us change or convert hours or 24 hours into 1 day. So we will have 7 days is to 1 day, and it's already simplified. Now, if you choose to convert 7 days into hours, that is also okay because you will just arrive at the same answer as long as you converted it properly. But that will make our solution longer because we know that in 1 day there are 24 hours. So if we will multiply 24 hours by 7, that will make our number bigger. Okay, so if we will multiply it, 7 times 4, that's 28. 7 times 2 is 14, plus 2, that will be 168. So we will still need to simplify 168 is to 24. And this will just lead us to the same answer as 7 is to 1 because both numbers here are divisible by 24. And that's it for ratio. Thank you for listening.